Hey YouTube, I'm Wes. I'm addicted to records. Please help. Alright, this is my vinyl inbox for the month of February 2018, and it's almost the last day of March now. It's probably going to be nearly the last day of March or after the last day of March by the time this gets posted. I'm sorry about that. I've just been busy with life, busy with other things, but we're getting into it now, talking about the February albums I purchased, and soon enough I'll be doing my March albums as well. Let's go ahead and get into it. Even though I was busy, it didn't stop me from buying vinyl. First thing I have here is something I pre-ordered, something I've talked about in the past. In the early days of the VC, when we had a lot of threads, there was always that question, what would you like to see on vinyl, something that's not been issued on vinyl before, and often this would be my choice, and that is the soundtrack to the movie Last of the Mohicans, Trevor Jones score. Awesome score. Awesome movie. Definitely a movie I really love. Trevor Jones and Randy Edelman did the score to this. Finally, this got an official US release, and really nicely done. Nice 2 LP pressing there. The gatefold, and then the albums themselves are on this sort of marbly, sort of gold orange vinyl. Really pretty. Pressed at RTI, and I believe this is limited to 1,000 pieces on this album. I do see the in the RTI numbers in here. It's a 2-step process, so I think this was really meant to be a limited run kind of thing, and so that's really cool. I'm really glad I got this. Sounds amazing. Definitely a great way to hear this soundtrack, and I was glad to pick that up. So that was definitely something that came early in the month of February, and I've been listening to it ever since and really enjoying it. So that was definitely one of my top pickups for the month. Next up, we'll just go ahead and get into it here. February is often the sort of I guess you could call it the historical month for Vinyl Me Please, the record subscription service that I subscribe to. So this February was no different. They released this album of, I think it was mainly another sort of compilation of singles from Aliyu Mesfin. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Titled Hasabi, which means My Worries. Another collaboration Vinyl Me Please did with Now Again Records. They released that African rock group Get Out. Was it called? No, not Get Out. But anyway, Aliyu Mesfin is an Ethiopian artist. I don't know how to explain it. I guess it would kind of be known as sort of Ethiopian pop kind of stuff that the people of Ethiopia would listen to, would dance to, would enjoy hearing. You know, as usual with these sort of historical releases, they did do a nice booklet with lots of photos and liner notes about the artist and stuff like that, which was nice. There's some of the singles themselves. Very nice. Yeah, so really well detailed, well documented. That's one thing I do enjoy about these historical releases. Because a lot of times musically they're not that interesting to me anyway, but it's really cool to sort of learn the history of these and anything, and this is really pretty pressing on sort of a purpley marbled vinyl. Very nice. And there's the artwork done for the release by Billy Clark. Vinyl Me Please always does an art print with their club issues, so that's nice. So yeah, Aliyu Mesfin, Hasabe, or My Worries, Vinyl Me Please record of the month for February 2018. Enjoyed sort of learning a little bit about this. I need to spend more time with it. I need to read more of the booklet, obviously. I just haven't had the time to spend with this that I really need to. But interesting, and I enjoy these, even if it's not technically right up my alley. It's enjoyable to me. So Yeah, if you're thinking about trying out Vinyl Me Please for yourself, if you're not already a subscriber, I do have a referral link that I would appreciate if you'd use. It's always in the show notes of all my vinyl videos anyway. So if you want to join up with Vinyl Me Please, use that referral link. Just thought I'd mention that. Haven't mentioned it in a while, and if you want to check out Vinyl Me Please for yourself, use my referral link. All right, next up, one of my probably most anticipated albums of 2018. Definitely hasn't let me down. This one is at the top of the list right now for best albums of 2018, and that is the new release from Nils Frahm titled All Melody. Nils Frahm is an instrumental artist, deals with a lot of pianos, percussion, electronics, definitely works in the sort of soundscape kind of Brian Eno ambient kind of space. Really cool stuff here. He moved into this new studio, so that's what this album is about. This new studio has these sort of weird echo chambers that he uses to sort of bend the sound and distort the sound, and it's just really a killer ambient kind of soundscapey sound work, sound texture kind of album. It's very textural kind of sound, and very emotional kind of sound, and it's just something to sort of close your eyes and drift off to. And yeah, as I said, this was an anticipated album for me. It didn't let me down. I've been spinning the crap out of this. Just beautiful music, really lush, really enjoyable, really sort of, I don't know, I guess sort of the same thing that people get from like ASMR videos, where it's sort of a sensual kind of feeling kind of thing I get from this kind of music, and it just really hits me, and it's really cool. So the nice vinyl release of this comes with this nice big book here. It tells sort of the story of the new studio and sort of the working on this project, and features some photos from the studio, stuff like that, some of the equipment he's been using, and really nice accompanying booklet, you know, full 12 by 12 kind of thing. Really nicely done, so that's definitely appreciated. And that's a 2 LP set on black vinyl. Not sure where this was pressed at. I think it's somewhere in the UK, but I'm not sure where this was pressed at. But definitely nice quiet pressing. I always get pretty good pressings from Nils Frahm. He's on Erased Tapes Records. Nils Frahm, All Melody. Definitely awesome album. I was really glad to pick this up, and at the top of my list for albums of 2018 right now. All right, next thing I have to talk about is something that I've waited. I'd pre-ordered this last summer. It was supposed to be released late last year on vinyl. It kept getting pushed back. The deluxe version of this anyway. The normal vinyl release came out when it was supposed to, but I had ordered the deluxe version. It was going to be this really unique packaging. I was really excited about it. Unfortunately, it was something that they just weren't able to make happen in the end. So they ended up refunding the extra money that the additional packaging costs, and they also included an extra booklet to make this at least a little bit more special, because they included the regular release and then this book. But this is the new album from 100 Waters, sort of an electronic music group, actually started here in Gainesville, Florida, where I live. This is their latest album titled Communicating, I believe it's what it's titled. Yes, Communicating. So yeah, originally they were going to do, if you've ever seen those pillows where it has all those sequins on it and you can push your hand across it and it like changes what the pattern is on the sequins, they were going to do an album cover with that, which would have been awesome. Would have been really cool to see that, but unfortunately they weren't able to make that happen. So this is just the standard pressing of it. And it came with its own nice 12 by 12 booklet. Seems to be a common theme this month, but it's really nice that we're getting these nowadays, getting a lot more detail in the packaging. And this booklet just has sort of these weird sort of almost semaphore kind of characters. Yeah, just some artwork that was created for the album. There is a little bit of lyrics in there as well. There's a download code in there, and that's just on black vinyl, single LP. Not sure where that was pressed at either. Doesn't have any kind of thing denoting where it was pressed at. So as I said, for those of us that had pre-ordered the special edition and weren't able to get it, they included another art book along with it for us, and so this is the extra art book that we get because they weren't able to make the deluxe edition happen. So some more artwork that somewhat fits in with the theme of the album and some other things that the band had done. Sort of very abstract kind of stuff here, but it fits in with their music very well. Very, very dancey, rhythmic, late night kind of electronic kind of music, I would say. Definitely it also has vocals as well, which is nice for the person that doesn't like instrumental music. So yeah, that's 100 Waters with their latest album it was actually from 2017, but I just got it recently because the deluxe edition was delayed. So Communicating by 100 Waters, nice pickup for this month. Okay, so then we at some point in February took a trip to Orlando. Just wanted to sort of get out of town for the day, go hit up some record stores. Trying to think what else the plan was for Orlando trip. I think it was mainly just sort of to get out of town and have some fun. So picked up this at Park Avenue CDs in Orlando. This is something that Stefan had picked up last year, and I was curious about it, was interested in it, never got around to getting it. But that is the latest album from Mogwai, Every Country's Son. Really nice album from the group Mogwai. Really, really cool artwork. So saw this there. Almost bought a Nils Fromm album when I was there, one of the older ones that I don't have yet, but ended up putting that back and getting this instead. And I'm glad I did. And this is the clear vinyl pressing. Pressed at RTI as well. Mastered at Abbey Road. 2 LP set as well. And don't know exactly how to explain if you haven't heard Mogwai before. They'd sort of move around with their sound a lot. Sometimes it's more of a softer ambient electronic kind of sound. Sometimes it's more of an aggressive rock, sort of almost metal-y kind of sound. They just do interesting music, and I've always enjoyed what I've heard from them. So wanted to grab that. This one is a little more electronic, I would say, or sort of on the electronic side anyway. But yeah, good album from them. I haven't spent a lot of time with it, but it's enjoyable so far. And that was from 2017, as I said, yeah, from last year. Just never got around to getting it. This next one is what I believe. I actually have 2 other copies of this, but I believe this is actually the first pressing of it, and the other ones I have are later pressings. But that's Harry Belafonte's "To Wish You a Merry Christmas" from 57, I think, or 58. 58 is when this was released. Just a Christmas album from Harry Belafonte. Picked this up in a thrift store at a birthday party where we did a bunch of thrifting. It was kind of crazy, kind of a cool thing. A friend of mine is a big time into selling on eBay and loves to do thrifting and stuff like I do as well, and decided to make a birthday party of it. Rented a limousine and went to thrift stores in a limousine. That was a really fun birthday party. So that was definitely a highlight of February, to be able to go thrifting in a limousine. I'm one of the few people probably who can say thrifted in a limousine, because the driver had never taken anybody to a thrift store, and he'd been doing it for a while. So that was fun. This next one is from a antique mall in Orlando. When we went the same day, I picked up the Mogwai. Sort of getting these records a little bit out of order here, but this is Todd Rundgren's, just titled Wizard, I guess. Wizard, A True Star. But this is the nice die-cut version of it, first pressing of it. Really nice. Nice gatefold. Yeah, so that was a nice find. It was in a booth that was half price, so I got this for like $4. I think that was a really good price for this album. Glad to have found that. All right, these next few are from the Second and Charles store here in Gainesville. Got an album by Curved Air titled Aircut. Really cool sort of jazz rock fusion-y kind of spacey kind of stuff. Really dug listening to this a lot. Solo album from Midyear titled The Gift. This is a UK pressing of it. There's a poster. That one, it's pretty cool. And these are all like $2 a piece from the Second and Charles. And the last one here I got is a piece of hip hop from the Skinny Boys. Skinny Can't Get Enough. 1988 is the year on this. They sort of did a parody of the Fat Boys, and they were kind of the funny hip hop skinny guys kind of group. And this is actually still sealed, so some of the shrink wrap is fallen off, but it's never been fully opened, so that's a pretty cool pickup. This next one I have to share with you is kind of a funny one. I finally broke down and bought this after seeing it once again in the vinyl community on Paul's channel, Baraka P Dub. This is sort of an old joke in the vinyl community, this album. I believe Tony, Mr. Fart Boy, originally found it and did these sort of hilarious videos, like ranting about this weird album that he found. And then it sort of got passed around in the vinyl community, and that is Four-Way Anal Touch Fight with Heritage. So, yeah, I can say, what the fuck is an anal touch fight? Yeah, this is some weird shit, man. Yeah, I think Paul put a sample of this in his video, in his 2018 vinyl thread video, I think it's called. Vinyl thread? I can't even think of what it is. Something I still need to do. I haven't even done it yet. It's damn near April and I haven't even done the damn thread yet, but this is a weird fucking record. It's like industrial... I don't even know what the hell you would call it. It's just weird. You have to sample it to understand. And it also came with a 7-inch. It's on white vinyl. And the album itself is on red vinyl. And yeah, I'm just kind of into collecting weird things like this and couldn't resist buying it. It was $10. It wasn't expensive, so I now have this in my collection, and I got to experience it fully for myself. And yeah, it's freaking weird. If you want to drive people out of your house, put this on. that'll drive anybody away. I think just about anybody. So yeah, February. Got some new reissues from David Bowie. Finally, a couple of albums that I've been waiting on. First one here, well, actually, both of them are from my birth year of 1977. First one here, Heroes, David Bowie. Finally got the nice reissue of this. Nice insert with lyrics and liner notes on it. Sure, just like the original. I think they tried to recreate the UK versions of these. Came with a sort of its own inner sleeve, and then it's in a modern poly-lined paper inner sleeve, and it has these sort of RCA recreation labels that say Bowie on them instead of RCA. Nice heavyweight pressings of these. They are digitally remastered, so if you're an all-analog kind of person, you're going to turn your nose up at these, but for a good sounding copy of Heroes on vinyl for not a lot of money, I actually pre-ordered these on Amazon and paid $14 a piece. That was a really good deal to get the pre-order price guarantee kind of thing on these. $14 was good. And the second one, also from 1977, is Low. Picked that one up as well. Definitely, these were the last two that I really wanted to have in my Bowie collection, and I was glad to pick them up in February. So that one looks the same on the inside, basically. I think it also had an insert with it and everything. Okay, and this last little stack of records here are from the Arrow's Aim Records here in Gainesville, from the Dollar Bin there. The store recently changed hands. The original owner, his wife moved away or got a job out of town kind of thing, and he ended up having to sell the store. So it's changed hands, so I kind of went in there to sort of feel out the new owner, feel out the new vibe, see what's going on there, and ended up buying some stuff from the Dollar Bin. So we'll go ahead and get into that. First thing I got here is a double LP album from Justin Wilson, the Cajun cook, Cajun comedian, Justifyin'. That'll be a fun listen. As I said, $1, so if I only listen to it once, it's no big deal. Something from the Electra 4000 series that I hadn't heard of before. This is Steve Noonan. Should be some interesting, folksy kind of singer-songwriter kind of stuff. Recently saw this in another store, in another record store for $10, so maybe this is something good. This is kind of a modern, folksy kind of thing. Cindy Lee Berryhill with Who's Gonna Save the World. So yeah, that was cool. It was cool to see it in another store for 10 times what I paid for it. So I'll give it a try and see if I like it. When is this released? 1987, so it's not as new as I thought it was. But yeah, should be some cool stuff. Some 80s folk music. See what she has to say. The soundtrack to the movie Kent State, which I have not seen the movie. But should be interesting to hear this anyway. Grace Slick, Reggie Havens, John Sebastian. Composed and produced by Ken Lauber. Copy of Jerry Rafferty's Snakes and Ladders. And last but not least, speaking of the folk thing, I sort of passed this person's records up in the past and ended up, after seeing her at the Florida Folk Festival last year, earned a new bit of respect for her and have been sort of picking up her albums here and there as I find them for not a lot of money. So this is The Good Book by Melanie. And it still does have the book in the front. Oftentimes this is missing. It's like a book of poems and artwork and kind of stuff in there. Really neat. She always had unique packaging on her records. And then it's gatefold, and it's got a couple of different pages to it as well. Yeah, really interesting packaging on Buddha Records. So yeah, those were my pickups for February 2018. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe so you can be kept up to date with new vinyl videos from me. Have a great day, great night, and we'll see you again real soon. Cheers.